Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Evans from Outclick Magazine. Today, we're very excited to talk to Stacy Ritter, who is the president and CEO of our Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau, also known as the CVB. It's a huge honor to talk to Stacy. We are going to play their Meet the Team video before we get started so you can see who they are and the kind of work that they do.
I asked my team what they love about Greater Fort Lauderdale.
I think it's the perfect beach day.
I think it's a mega yacht cruising down the Intercoastal.
A last-second goal by the Florida Panthers.
Don't forget the world-famous tiki drinks at the Mai Kai.
Or opening night at the Broward Center.
The nightlife, the music, the fashion, the art.
It's the thrill of seeing an alligator
This close.
It's every LGBT plus first, just like the first ever Pride of the Americas.
It's the 100 plus countries that make up Broward County's population.
We think it's the $1 billion convention center expansion.
There are so many reasons we love living and working in Greater Fort Lauderdale.
We're proud to be part of this diverse and inclusive community that's 31 municipalities strong.
This is the best destination in the world.
I know it.
I know it.
I know it.
And we're making a pledge.
To tell every single potential visitor.
All about it.
We're building value for residents and visitors now and for future generations.
Together, we are getting the world's attention.
We are Greater Fort Lauderdale!
Do that again.
I don't do not cheesy, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh.
Stacy, we are honored to talk to you today. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. My honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We love the wink at the end of the video. That was very cute. I can't help but get a little emotional watching the video because of the change that are happening. You have Justin, who we lost. It's a kind of emotional video for, I think, all of us to watch. I'm going to pull it together myself, but tell us about what the Convention and Visitors Bureau does. It's such a powerful engine for our city and what you do.
Thank you. I want to mention we also lost Albert Tucker, who was our vice president of multicultural, who's also in that video. We lost him in April. So it's been a very tumultuous and emotional year for those of us at the Greater Fort Lauderdale CVB. I'm just going to call it Visit Lauderdale from now on. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
What we do at Visit Lauderdale is we market and promote the destination. I have a very talented team of professionals who travel the world, travel the country, put out social media, put out marketing. Our job is to bring visitors to Broward County. And we spend 24/7, 365 doing that. It's an amazing job. I love what I do. I came from a different angle. I didn't start in tourism, although I hope to end in tourism. And what better way to sell and market and promote this destination than from someone who's been here since 1974. I've watched this destination grow. I've watched it become diverse and inclusive. More than 100 languages spoken in households in Broward County. I can tell you that when I got here in 74, we were overwhelmingly white and overwhelmingly straight. And thankfully we are neither anymore. So I love that about us. That's what we do.
It's a wonderful city. I knew when I came here to visit I've lived here 11 years and I came here to visit years before then. I thought this is a fabulous place and where I want to live. I really love living here. It is a great place to live. It's a great place to vacation. There is so much to do under normal conditions and even under our current conditions. There's still so many things to do. We've got 8 distinct beaches. If you want to talk about the beaches or some of our dining or whatever you want to maybe introduce people there might be somebody who's not been to Fort Lauderdale and Broward County before. What are some of the highlights?
Well, shame on them if they've never been here, because we have a tremendous amount to offer. And we came here also on vacation. That's how we got here. And from suburban Chicago, and stayed on Fort Lauderdale Beach. My family loved it. My father loved it. And there was an entire day, an entire week in December of 1974 where his car wouldn't start. Turned it over, and on the Friday of that week, he threw his keys in the snow and he said, "Damn it, we're moving to Florida." And 3 weeks later, we were here. So,
Okay.
so we have eight cities worth of beaches. Pompano. I know I'm going to miss one, so I'm not going to name them all because I'll get blasted if I miss one. We have 23 miles of
Yeah.
certified blue wave beaches. There's actual certification.
Mhm.
So we have 23 miles of blue wave certified beaches. We've got 500 hotels. We have 5,000 restaurants here in Broward County, or at least we did pre-pandemic. I'm sure that number's fallen off, unfortunately. We have attractions. We have the Everglades to the west to see what Florida looked like in its natural state. And then when you head east, we have this amazing beach with a Conrad, a Four Seasons being built that will open next year. We've got a Lago Mar, which I have to say is my happy place, which is one of the widest beaches in Fort Lauderdale. We've got amazing restaurants in Pompano Beach. Just it's been an explosion of things to do. We've got museums, we've got culture, we have art, and as I said, we've got diversity and inclusiveness. And I've never liked the word tolerant. I don't like the way it sounds. We are not tolerant. We are welcoming and inclusive, and you can do whatever you want here. We are everyone under the sun, and we are happy to embrace all of them. So if you haven't been here again, shame on you. Especially right now, there is no doubt that the tourism industry has been one of the hardest hit industries during this COVID-19 pandemic. And while we are slowly climbing our way out of it, it has been devastating to tourism and to the people who work in tourism.
To go back to what you're saying, it is we have something for everyone here, and whoever you are, we celebrate whoever you are and whatever you like to do. It's a place to come and be yourself and enjoy that. There's something for everyone, whether you like shows or theaters or clubs or a day at the beach or whatever, or restaurants. Like you said, you can go out to eat. Well, 5,000. How many nights can you go and not eat at the same place twice? And there's just so much to do. The shopping, and even now things are beginning to emerge and come back open again. There are so many things to do and so many places to go. You can just come back and come back and come back. We have LGBT resorts. We have mainstream resorts, things on the beach, and we have every price point, I think, for something for someone to do.
We do, and the prices have come down because of this. And so if you're looking to get away for a few nights, you will find that we have over 275 businesses which have taken the Visit Lauderdale Safe and Clean pledge, which is a promise to follow CDC guidelines and to sometimes mandate them in hotels, for example, or restaurants, to make sure that the traveler understands that you can be safe here in Greater Fort Lauderdale, that we take your safety is our number one priority. And 6 months ago, if you had asked a traveler what it meant to be safe and secure, they would have it would never have been about this. It would have been about the airplanes and TSA and travel and in general and how you get from one place to the other safe. It's a completely new definition now. So as you can see from the screen, we're really thrilled to be able to promote, to create and promote this program so that the traveler does know that despite what you see in the headlines, people here in Broward County are taking this very seriously. We want you to come back, but when you are ready to come back, we want you to know you're going to be safe here.
And people are at all levels of safety and what they feel is safe. And we tell people, do what's at your own comfort level. If it's stay home. And, there are restaurants that are open and they have the guidelines that's outlined by our county, this program that they can sign up for, and then they can display the posters that you all have. And so we still have our travel industry here, and it's been impacted quite a bit. It's one of, if not our major revenue generator for Broward County. But I go out to our partners in our restaurants, and there's social distancing. The servers are all wearing masks. There's hand sanitizers everywhere. So there are still options. Our beaches are open most days, or have been closed some days, but they're open most days.
They were closed during over the July 4th holiday to prevent people from congregating too closely. But I run by the beach every day. My 3 miles is Los Olas to A1A, and you can go to the beach and social distance to your heart's content any time of the day. And I think that's one of the things that is most special about here, and I think will be easier for us to bounce back than some destinations. You can spread out, you can socially distance, and you can do it outside. There are lots of cities in the country where more urban, more dense, and I think they're going to have a harder time bouncing back from this. And I feel for them. If there's good news, and I'm not sure that this is good news, but we are all in this together. This is a global issue. So it's not as if we were hit by a hurricane that no one else had. We've all been hit. And for the 180,000 people at our peak who were employed either directly or indirectly through tourism, with 13 million visitors on an annual basis, both domestically and internationally, it's been a big hit. Restaurant closing, retail closing, the beach is closed. I mean, that's our number one selling point is the beach. Now that things have started to reopen, we are seeing people coming back, and we're very, very thankful and grateful that they've chosen us.
Well, our weather, our beaches, all of those elements will remain unchanged regardless of COVID. They will still be part of Fort Lauderdale. We're going to show this. This is we'll play it, I think maybe without the audio because it's just music, but this will still be here. And once some semblance of normal comes back, even more so, but we have so much to do here. So as you said, there are so people coming. So.
And we are and again, when they are ready, we are ready. We have taken this very seriously. We have a phased in recovery plan. We had actually kicked off our recovery plan in early June. And then when the spike happened around the middle of June, first, second week of June, we pulled back on that. We recognize that we don't want to hard sell people right now. This is an opportunity to soft sell. Means you can see, let's all lay on a beach and have a drink. And just for a few minutes, forget what's going on around us. And we're here to help people do that. We do this every day. My team has been unbelievable during this pandemic, changing our messaging, changing the platforms for our messaging, pulling back on print and going almost strictly digital, which also saves money. I mean, we are a government agency. We all work for Broward County at Visit Lauderdale, and we are funded by the Tourist Development Tax, also known as the bed tax. So you stay in a hotel room, there's a 6% tax from the county. That goes in part to help fund the CVB. That has dropped drastically. We were down 91% over this time last year in April, 50% over this time last year in June. So as a result, we've had to cut our budget $8 million for the next fiscal year. We go from a $22 million agency to a $14 million agency, and that impacts how you can do business. And again, every destination has experienced this. New York City's just been decimated. San Francisco's been decimated by this, and I think that they're going to have a harder time coming back than we will. So we will come back. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when, but we are ready whenever that time happens to come. We're ready.
And we've been in conversations with all of our arts, entertainment, and travel partners, and everyone is in the plan, watch, replan mode because that's all they can do. But I really get the feeling that everyone is patient with that process because as the arts people are planning and then they have to pull back or plan and replan, the patrons are patient and saying, we get you're going to plan a concert and then now we have to stop, or because that's no one knows. And so I think everyone is patient. Seems like they're patient with everyone and realizing we're all kind of doing the best we can and making the best plan and the replanning based on the data that's going to be different tomorrow than what we got today, which is the hardest part. There is unlike 9/11, which it was an event that was in the past and we all dealt with a past event. We don't know when this event will be over. This is a very impactful, it's impacting our economy different because we don't have an end date, unlike 9/11, which was a past event. So it's very different in the mindsets of people.
It is. And after 9/11, while tourism took a serious dip, it came back because it was patriotic to get on an airplane. We weren't going to let people on the other side of the world dictate how we led our lives here. This is different. Everybody is impacted by this, and everyone has to deal with their own level of concern. Again, I go out to lunch every day. It's the highlight of my day these days. My husband and I eat outside. We go to our favorite restaurants. We feel it's very important to patronize local restaurants, especially small businesses, to keep them going during this time. clearly when restaurants closed back in March and April, it was really devastating. And as they slowly reopened, even though there's still a curfew, which is concerning to some of those restaurants here in Broward County, we want to patronize. One of the saddest things during this, aside from obviously 160,000 deaths and counting every day, is to see your local restaurant, your favorite little place go out of business, or your favorite little boutique go out of business, and know that they're not coming back. They'll be replaced by something, but that particular small business isn't coming back. And again, I know it's happening all over the world, but when it happens in your little corner of paradise, it's that much harder. It's that much harder to swallow. And it has been. And patience is not a strong suit for me. So to sit here and try to and basically mark time until we can do what we do best, which is seriously market and promote this destination, has been difficult. I know that when you work for a CVB, a Convention and Visitors Bureau, there's never a downtime. There's always something to do. And this has been we have some breathing space. We've had some breathing space to do some of the stuff that's been on the back burner for years, but most of us are chomping at the bit to get back on the road, get back on an airplane, and start selling the place that we call home.
One of the, it's for me, it's been personal because of the magazine, but more so because of our partners. Talking to the leaders of the organizations who have shut down has been, as you said, that's been even harder than my own organization, because like you, we invest that emotion into it. You and your team are so invested in all of what we're all doing. That emotional drain it's very difficult when you see, because you invest emotionally in, what everyone's doing.
I'm a big fan of Mark Hunter. And the fact that he hasn't been able to do what he does best, both here and in Palm Springs, it hurts. And I know that businesses like Mark's and Mark are hurting. They're still paying their rent. They still have to keep things afloat until the time when we can open our doors. And I think that I'm very grateful that we have Richard Gray, our Senior Vice President of Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity, leading the charge. Richard has, as you probably know, Visit Lauderdale was the first CVB to have a specific LGBT plus vertical. And Richard's been there for a really long time, and he has done amazing things. The Pride of the Americas, which was supposed to take place in April of this year, was going to be the biggest blowout in North and South America. And unfortunately, things happen, but those kinds of events put your destination on the map and show that inclusion that we live here in Greater Fort Lauderdale. And, whether it's that or the boat show is still scheduled to take place at the end of October, but Tortuga has been rescheduled, and everything this summer has been canceled. And it's it has a ripple effect. If you lose your job in a restaurant or retail or an attraction closed, you can't pay your rent, can't pay your electric bill, you can't go to your favorite restaurant, and every dollar that we collect here gets rippled tenfold through the community. And that hasn't happened. I mean, as I said, our revenues dropped off significantly, and we're a government agency. I'm grateful that I have a whole county behind me, but not everybody has that safety net.
Yeah. We'll make it through it. Well, at some point there'll be an end. We don't know. I always say, I wake up some mornings and say, how did I get in this science fiction movie? Why is everyone I know a character? Who wrote this awful script? And when does it end? And every day we turn the page, and it's like, well, here we are again in this awful, awful science fiction movie, but we're all characters in it. And how did everyone I know get to be a character in this movie?
And that's what it didn't have to happen this way. It could have been better. It would still have been difficult, but it could have been better. And I think that while none of us had control over the pandemic as it's made its way across Europe and then into the States, I think a lot of us think it could have been handled differently. Yeah. And I'm not going to get all, political here, but there are so many businesses that have impacted by this. And I wish that there had been a more holistic look at how we do things, instead of allowing one county to do something and another county to do something else, which only ends up having us compete against each other. So for example, the Panhandle and the Keys are having a great summer.
Mm.
We are not having a great summer. Their rules are different than ours. They opened up at different times than we did. And while we want them to do well, one of the nice things about being in tourism is that you're competitors, but you're friendly competitors. While we want them to do well, we want to do well too. And we've been hamstrung because of some of the inconsistencies that have been going on. It's uncomfortable. But we will get through it. I mean, as I said, we will bounce back faster than some other destinations. And we know that that's coming. We just don't know when it is. So we do the same. Okay, we have a plan and let's kick it off August 1st. Okay, maybe not August 1st. Let's try for September 1st. Let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. And we are nimble enough that we can do that. And I thank county government for giving us some of the nimbleness that other agencies in government may not have, recognizing that our industry does have to turn on a dime.
Well, we might want to mention then the Lauderdale Deals that you've got on the website. Let's bring that up. This might be a good time to look at what's on the website. I'm going to have Arthur pop that in. Arthur is I call it Roz from Frasier. He's in the background that helps me. I have him pop that up.
It's funny when I have a dog who's named Frasier.
Oh,
so
okay.
I read that and I'm like, okay, well, Frasier's my Frasier, but okay. I have a Roz too. You'll never see my assistant Lizzie. She's the best. I wouldn't know where I was going if it wasn't Lizzie. So sunny.org is our website, and we encourage all of your listeners, watchers. I don't know, participants. I don't know what you. I'm still not sure with the lingo. The people who are watching, to go to sunny.org. Lauderdale Deals is what we're naming our summer programs this year. We always have summer discounts. Summer's a slower time of year, and is always a slower time of year for us. So we encourage people to take staycations. The drive market has become big for us. We think the Great American Road Trip is coming back for the rest of this year, while people may be concerned about getting on an airplane. And Florida is such a big state. 20 million people live here that driving, we have 20 million people who are potential visitors for our destination. So what Lauderdale Deals is a program that we promote and market, create for hotels, attractions, restaurants, retail, who come up with deals for those people who want to come in the quieter, slower, less expensive summer months. We've also got our Dine Out Lauderdale, which is our restaurant program. We have always done, like other destinations do, a restaurant month. Usually it starts September 1st. This year we started it July 1st. And you can find all restaurants which are participating on the website. And you can also find all of the Lauderdale Deals on sunny.org as well. And these are local, many of them small businesses, many of them individually owned. Some of them are not, some of them are bigger. But all of these restaurants are giving you a $35 to $45 prefix 3-course dinner. And we encourage everybody, whether you live here or you are visiting, to go to these restaurants which are participating. You get a great meal, number one. Many of them are on the beach, so that's, there's nothing nicer than having a nice cocktail on the beach. And they need our help.
Yeah, can you see the website? Where Arthur's got the website up. This is a great program. Yeah, we've done this before. We work a lot with in conjunction with Key West, and the Key West people have told us the exact same thing. They told us this way before this, that during slow economic times, it is the drive market that keeps the economy alive. And that's what they told us numerous times before COVID, that they rely on the drive down market. And so you're echoing exactly what they've said. So the drive market, like you said, will, I think, be strong for us. And what did you call it? The Great American
Road Trip.
Road Trip. That's it. And people can take advantage of that and go places that they haven't been. And we used to pack up the family and go all over when I was a kid. That was what we did.
Exactly. And for us, we have a major international airport. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport is huge. We flights from all over the country and South America, Canada, Europe, Dubai, when Emirates was flying. So for us, it wasn't always just the drive market. We were able to reach an entire world. And because FLL, the number of flights has been cut drastically, the number of people traveling on airplanes has been cut drastically, we have spent more time cultivating that drive market. And but it's also the locals too, the people who live here or live in the Tri-County area. We think that our biggest, most important stakeholder is the resident. People have to buy in to the fact that tourism is an important part of our economy. And I'm hoping they see that now. we all get on the road when times are normal, and we've all moaned and groaned about the traffic on I-95, the traffic on Los Olas Boulevard, the traffic on Broward Boulevard. We've all moaned and groaned about the tourists and the license plates from all over the country. But the truth of the matter is that it's because of those people who come here that we get to continue to do what we do and live the lifestyle that we live. And residents need to buy into that. We work with the 31 cities to make sure we reach out to their electeds, their city managers, their tourism directors to let them know we are here to help you. On Sunday.org, there's a page dedicated to each one of the cities here in Broward County so that people can easily find what else there is to do here on a rainy day, or it's too hot for them, or it's too cold, which of course is rare. But we think that that's what we do best is reach out to the resident and let them know how important tourism is. And, let's give our tourists a hearty welcome when they come here and thank them for being here. Because again, this is why this community has evolved into the dynamic, vibrant tapestry that it is, full of people who weren't born here, full of people who speak different languages. I say this when I used to travel for this in this job. If you want to only see someone who looks like you, don't come here. That's not what we're about. We're about finding new things, and what differentiates us from different destinations is that we don't have little pockets of diversity. We don't have a pocket where Colombians live and a pocket where LGBT lives. Everybody lives together here in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and that's what I think makes us the true melting pot. Again, this is going to sound corny, but I actually think we were what the founding fathers anticipated many years ago when they decided that we were going to become a republic of a whole bunch of people who weren't necessarily born here, but who become American simply because they choose to be. That's what makes us special here, and we have embraced that, and you see it when you walk around Greater Fort Lauderdale.
You see all kinds of people, all kinds of single people, all kinds of couples holding hands and celebrating and getting married and celebrating anniversaries and celebrating life. And it's a fun place to go to the beach. And I miss going to the symphony, and I miss going to the opera, and I miss going to the Broward Center. And, we were out 5 and 6 nights a week doing something. And, I had to sit at home with a TV remote at least one night a week and get a little bit of rest. But it was.
I think you're younger than I am.
But not being able to do that, it's been very difficult. But, when people say, well, not very many people say there's nothing to do, but it doesn't take a lot of work to find something to do, because there's just always something to do, and so many people. And that to me is just what is fun, is meeting all the different people that come here and visit. And if you have an empty bedroom, you automatically become a bed and breakfast to every friend you've had since junior high.
That's true.
For sure. If you move here.
Oh, you live in Fort Lauderdale?
Oh, yes.
I'm coming down.
I'm coming down to visit. Yeah. And I'll have Arthur put up the letter. Well, go ahead. You did a letter for us. I'll have him.
Well, we are a great family destination, but we are not necessarily what people think is the traditional family here. So, I love that about it. It used to be a family was a husband and a wife and 2 children, and that was it. And what we do here really well, again, is we reach out to, a family is what you call it. A family is who you choose to be family with, not necessarily those who are forced upon you through birth. And we love that about them. I mean, if you see our Greater Together video, which you can view on Sunday.org, it's a real representation of what Greater Fort Lauderdale and Broward County is. And again, I think that's one of the most dynamic things about this destination. And I'm a firm believer of you either evolve or you die. And we are continuing to evolve here, and we will continue to evolve, whether it's through our messaging, through our promotion as a CVB, or just to the people who live here. People want to come here, and we should recognize that because of that, we are an ever-growing place to live. I chose to raise my family here. One of my kids still lives in Fort Lauderdale, and I love the fact that he's decided to stay here. My daughter decided she wanted to go to New York and live a big city life. But for me, there's nothing better than being able to tell people that It's not, we just don't talk about diversity. We just don't talk about inclusion. We actually live it every single day. And you can see that when you walk down Los Olos Boulevard, or when you go to the Galleria, or when you go to Sawgrass Mills, which is, the largest outlet in the country. 350 stores. You can see that diversity. People from all over the world want to come here, and many of them choose to live. 2 million
And that
people
was
live here.
that was in the letter that you wrote. Arthur had that letter up, but you all started the Greater Together campaign before all of this, which is, I mean, even more so now, which is even more needed. So one of the questions I always ask people is, what words of encouragement can you give people during this time? I always love asking that question. I'm going to ask that to you.
Well, let me just say quickly that Greater Together campaign, we put it together in 2017 because after Donald Trump was elected in 2016 and I was traveling other places around the globe, got a lot of pushback on the discussions about immigrants and the language about Muslims. And so we needed to tell people that we were not what you're hearing out of Washington, D.C. So that was why we put together that subtle dig, but it does represent who we are. And I hope everybody looks at it, because that one gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Words of, you know what, we will get through this. It's just a matter of time. None of us knows when, but tourism especially is very resilient. We bounce back, whether it was 9/11 or the economic downturn in 2008 and 2009. We climbed out of it, and we will climb out of this one as well. None of us knows when. I wish I had a crystal ball and could tell the people who work at the CVB, we're going to start today. We're going to start tomorrow. We're going to start on the 15th. I can't, but I do know that we are going to come back, and we're going to come back stronger than ever, in part because of the people who live here, who are dedicated to making sure that this place stays paradise. And I would encourage everyone, if you can't live here, at least visit here, and you'll get a slice of paradise for as long as you choose to stay. We get to live it every day.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you talking to us and taking the time. I know you have a million other things you could be doing, but we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and work with us on all the projects that you do. And really, as I've told so many people in your position, when you signed up for your job, you had no idea of the avalanche of work that was coming back in March. But you, like many others, have, it's been thrust upon you, and we've had to make decisions that we didn't think we were going to have to make. And so.
And they have been painful. Budget cuts are, I said to Richard, I said, this job was a lot more fun when we had a lot of money. But look, again, I think that some of what I say is really corny, but I believe it. And I think that every challenge presents an opportunity, and we will all rise to this occasion. It's just, how we get there. And we might have different paths, but we will all get there. And with partners like you, we know that we can get there together. And that's what we also need to remember, is sticking together is really important. We are all living this same thing. Some days are better than other. Some days I have a hard time just getting dressed, and we have to embrace and recognize and give ourselves the right to be sad or depressed, knowing that, tomorrow we'll get up and we'll try it one more time. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But I work with great people, and it helps. Also, I have a very supportive husband. That helps too.
Good. Well,
this time
I
have a very supportive husband.
They taught us that your emotional support is like a trampoline, and there are people holding your trampoline. Make sure you know who those people are, and there's enough people holding that. If not, the trampoline falls when you jump on it. So be able to identify those people who are holding your emotional support trampoline. It's very important. And I tell people, reach out, tell people. And I've been more honest with people about, what's going on with me. And you have to do it during this time. You have to reach out, because like you said, some days it's hard to just get out of bed. It's hard to do it. But it's even more so that we have to do that.
And as a leader, as the head of the CVB, as the president of the organization, you think that as a CEO, you have to show strength and invulnerability and, just keep pressing on. And I think that what people really want to see from their leaders is humanity and struggle. I don't have all the answers, but I know that I'm going to figure them out with the work that my team does on the behalf of the CVB. So, give yourselves allow yourself to be whatever it is you feel and let people know that. I think people want to see vulnerability and humanity in their leaders. We don't see enough of that these days. So, you know, if any of my team's watching, I struggle just like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. And be real. I have come to the realization I don't have the energy anymore to fake being happy all the time. I don't have it. And so let's just be real with each other and do it. But yes.
Although this has made me happy, so I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you this afternoon.
Well, thank you. I'm glad it's been a delight too. Is there anything I didn't ask that you wanted to share or cover?
Oh gosh, no. I think we, you know, if people don't know that I love this place and that I want you to come and visit, and we appreciate everyone who does. You know, I don't know.
Okay.
I will tell you though that we will continue to put out interesting and marketing. If you don't like what we do, at least you're talking about us, and that's what we hope. We want to be on everybody's. We want people to talk about what we're doing. We want people to say, "Hey, did you see what Visit Lauderdale did?" Maybe it's not your cup of tea if you live in the Midwest. Maybe it is. But we're going to continue to push out images that show that exactly who we are.
Good. I think you all do a great job. Arthur's going to put up your website and your social media so people can see that. We've got sunny.org, your Facebook, Instagram, and your other social media. So, of course, we follow it very closely. And we've got your website up there and everything. So thank you for talking to us. You know, we're here to help you all as well. So
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's
all
mutual.
right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank
Stay
you.
well.
Thank you. Stay safe. And for us, we are outclick.com, or you can text OCQ to 22828 to stay updated on us. Stacy, thank you, and be safe and be well.
You too. Thanks so much.
Thank you.